Hey, good morning, y'all. It is Monday, September 29th. Happy Monday. We made it through the weekend and it's off back to work, have another start the week grind again. I wish I was more productive this weekend, as always. I just feel like a lot of it is just trying to recoup and kind of catch up from the week. You just push yourself to get through it a lot of times, and then you find yourself a little bit lazier than you want to on the weekend. So definitely some things I want to continue to try and clean up on. Overall, though, I'm really proud of myself. I've kept to a lot of my diet restrictions, although I did have a cheat day this weekend. So I had a little bit of gluten, had a little bit of sugar, but I'm going to get back on it this week. I think that you can give yourself some grace. You know what I mean? We only have one life, so life has got to be worth living too. So if there's some treats, some things that you enjoy, it's okay. It's okay. The problem is with addiction, sometimes it is a slippery slope. So you kind of have to know yourself, know your body, know your urges, to where if you do this one thing, is it going to trigger some sort of cascade where, all right, now you're doing this other thing that's harmful for you, this other thing that's harm. So it's always just kind of, it's like a catch 22 a little bit. I'm a little tired. Stayed up watching the Cowboys. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I give my energy to this team, to that owner. They're not worthy of it. I'm kidding, but I'm just, yeah, I've watched the Cowboys since I was a kid, so I do still root for them, even though they're it's really hard to sometimes. They're really trying to get rid of me as a fan, and I just, like, I don't know, if I were to stop rooting for the Cowboys, I think I would just stop watching the NFL in general. So I'm gonna try to stick with them, but man, woo, at least they didn't lose. They didn't lose. Sometimes that's life, man. You know what I mean? Like, just chalk it up. Sometimes a loss is a win. Sometimes a tie is a win. Sometimes a win is a loss. It's just you just never really know how things might pan out, where it may lead you. Sometimes when you win, you just get a big head. I know I'm guilty of it in my past. You just think you're so smart. I remember winning at winning. It almost is like winning. I made money in stock options like a decade ago, and it kind of helped me start my first business. And man, I thought I was the smartest guy in the world. I was like, man, I'm gonna figure this out. Figured out stock trading, and I'm gonna be a millionaire. Blah blah blah. That's where they get you. You know what I mean? And you can have a good run, but if you don't stay disciplined, if you don't have a good just foundation and just plan on how you do things and stick with it, um, you could end up in a bad place, and that's kind of what happened to me. I mean, not really. I was smart enough with it, at least, to kind of make sure I locked in my gains and all that, and I didn't chase after losses, but I did chase after some losses, and you just kind of get emotional when you lose. But investing teaches you, like, a big thing about investing is, let's say you have something and you lose 50%. You lose 50% of that value, 50% of the money you worked hard for. Guess what? Like, now you need 100% gain to get that money back. Just to get the money back, how long is that going to take? So, it's always so much better sometimes just to protect your gains than to go after further gains. You know what I mean? And to really just yeah, have that mindset, of just have a little bit of risk aversion, in life, not just investing. But yeah, one topic I did kind of want to get to today, and it took me 4 minutes to get there. Wow. I really wanted to discuss just something that you can kind of reclaim your power on, how to reclaim your power. And I think a lot of people know this, but I think it's worth repeating, is learning how to say no. How to say no. And say no without having to explain yourself, and just say no with a short, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I got a project today, or I got to work on this, or I'm in a grind mode right now, or whatever it may be, without having to go into detail of what's going on in your life and your mind. Preserve that energy. And I think that's what saying no is all about, is preserving the energy that you have to focus on the things you want to, on the focus on the long term, because everything is delaying gratification. If you can learn how to delay gratification, you're ahead of 95, 98% of people. They can't delay gratification. They want the outcome now. They want that dopamine hit now. And so yeah, it's hard. We're human beings. It's human nature. It's just like programmed in our heads. And then, Joe Dispenza talks like what is it? Neurons fire together, wire together. And so when you build that network in your mind, man, it's a solid habit at some point. And it's just biology, it's chemistry, it's hard to break from. And so yeah, you do want to give yourself some grace. When you're trying to chase an after sobriety, like I haven't had a drink. I was just looking at the calendar before I started the video. I hadn't had a drink since well, I did have a drink a couple weeks ago with my parents. I had a couple glasses of wine, but I haven't had a heavy buzz since August 31st, since Labor Day weekend. So I'm really proud of myself, even though I've kind of broken the sobriety streak with my parents. It was a good glass of wine. It was it's hard to turn down a good cab, you know, and it's okay. Like, I don't, yeah, is it a little bit of a setback? Sure, why not? But am I going to beat myself over it? No, no. I think that it's okay sometimes. And you, did you have a bottle of wine? Like no. And so just take the wins where you can and learn to say no. Learn to say no with grace. Man, this video is just rambling. I'm so sorry. I'm just into my head too a little too much today, but I just feel like I'm rambling and jumping topic to topic. But I do think learning to say no is important, and that's really just the main point of this video that I kind of wanted to get across today. I am trying to plan out some topics and some things, and that was the topic I wanted to hit today was learning to say no, not to feel bad about it, because I just think as you get older, you know, when people cancel plans on you, man, I'm so happy. I'm like, I'm happy. Oh, great, good. You cancel the plan. I have the night free, or something fell through good. Like I don't have to plan to go out or whatever. Like it's almost, yeah, it's a sigh of relief in a lot of ways. Where I was younger, I was always looking for plans. I was looking for spontaneous things. I was trying to solidify the weekend, Thursday night, yeah, just as you get older, it's just like, man, you're a lot more selective with what you put your time and energy into, and you should be a lot more about yourself. The goals that you have. You lived through a lot of things. You've experienced a lot of things. um, don't take it for granted. Count your blessings where you can, and save your energy. Don't give yourself to the energy vampires. Watch out for the toxic people and learn to say no with grace, um, and with a seriousness where you don't have to explain yourself. It's a balance, and you don't want to be a jerk about it, but at the same time you don't want to be too nice about it. It's okay. It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to do something you don't want, or to not do something you don't want to do. So that's the main point I would suggest today to keep in mind. But yeah, I just hope everyone has just a wonderful start to their week. Hope everyone had a good weekend, and yeah, let's all try to keep the vibes up. Much love out there to you guys, anyone watching, and peace out.